We are back with another jam-packed episode of Lunes Live. Your favorite Compas got you covered with all of our NFL Week 6 takeaways. The LA teams went on the road and took care of business with wins in Miami and Baltimore. We'll get into some of the interesting stuff that happened in both of those matchups. I know Puka Nacua came off injured. Justin Herbert put on the cape again and saved the Chargers in Miami. Plus, we'll get into some of the top storylines from Week 6. There is a storyline that I'm actually very excited to start touching up on. Hilberto, why don't you give us our engagement question of the week?
Yeah, first of all, I didn't make this question. It might seem like I made this question, but I didn't. It was Fernando and Victor. For the engagement question of the week, are the Kansas City Chiefs all the way back? I hate when people say that. All the way back. Are the Chiefs still the best team in the AFC? The Chiefs beat the Lions. I was surprised how handily they beat the Lions. It wasn't even close. After Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped that pass on 4th down, it was ball game over. So let me know in the comments, are the Chiefs still the best team in the AFC? Charger fans, let me know in the comments. Again, not my question.
Love you too, Goon. That right now, that's what we've been hearing from the beginning, that Alt should be coming back against the Colts. So we will know if he's back. If he is back, Khalil's back. Well, we'll get into all that right now. I'm still not 100% sold on them, but I was very impressed last night as the only individual that chose the Chiefs to win on Sunday. So all right. That's the double. Last week I was the only one that chose the Jaguars, and this week the only one that chose the Chiefs. I'm gonna continue doing that. All right, Gilbert, the breaking news from today. I know we have to start off with the other two, but we got to start off with the breaking news. The Tennessee Titans fire Brian Callahan after starting 4-19. The son of Bill Callahan. He was the former OC of the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the Cincinnati Bengals. Now he has been fired. A blast from the past. Former Chargers head coach Mike McCoy is going to be the one that takes the reins and is the interim head coach the rest of the way. What do we have left? 9 weeks in the NFL? No. Yeah, 9. How many weeks? Yeah. No. We still have 10 weeks left in the NFL. No, heck no. What am I doing?
12.
Sorry. No, we have 11 weeks. No, 12 weeks. 12 weeks. I am sorry. Holy crap, that was terrible. We have 12 weeks left in the season. I thought it was week 8 for some reason. We have 12 weeks left in the season, so that means that I don't think they've had their bye week yet. So we will get 11 games out of good old ball coach McCoy. Gilbert, for everybody wondering, what is Coach McCoy going to bring? Just know Coach McCoy will have the best 53-man out on that team, on that field. So best 46 actually, but the best 53 men will play. So get your popcorn ready for that. I'm so pissed they're not coming to LA. They had 2 years in a row in LA, and now they decide to go to Tennessee. But all right, Gilbert, what are your thoughts on because you were the one that said it from before in the offseason, Brian Callahan will be the first one fired. Gilbert, why now and why not a one and done, especially when you had the first overall pick?
Yeah, I love what you mentioned there at the end. You know, why not last year? Why now? And honestly, what took so long? And you know, I get it. You know, it's never easy to write about like a coach should be fired, and you know, but that's what I get paid for, to have my opinions and my thoughts out there. And I pretty much wrote last year like he had a one and done type of season. It was that bad. Like, I know Tennessee doesn't get in primetime games. Nobody cares about the Titans. Remember the Titans, people. Remember the movie. We remember the movie more than the freaking team. But they were really bad. They spent a bunch of money on, you know, L'Jarius Sneed, Tony Pollard. They've had like 3 first-round picks on the offensive line.
They extended Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, they extended Jeffrey Simmons, who hasn't really done much. Can you remember the last time that you thought J.C. Latham was good? Peter Skoronski. They paid Dan Moore Jr. $88 million or $84. Who the hell knows? They paid Lloyd Cushenberry the third. They spent a bunch of money. They operated. They wanted to be a quick fix here. And I know I'm all over the place here, Fernando, but my biggest takeaway from this team, they can't get anything right since they got mad at Mike Vrabel. Oh, Mike Vrabel's too mean. Mike Vrabel wants more power. Yeah, because he was doing a bunch of work there in Tennessee, guiding Ryan Tannehill to the playoffs year after year and year. I get it. Derrick Henry was the star of the show there, but Mike Vrabel was doing an exceptional job there just to be a consistent playoff team, knocking out teams like the Patriots and the Ravens in the playoffs. I know they never got far, but they honestly remind me of what I'm talking about. Mike Vrabel now. They remind me of the John Harbaugh era. We're like, yeah, John Harbaugh has some down years, but he's going to get you in the playoffs. Why can't Mike Vrabel do that? The ownership in Tennessee did not like the power struggle there, so they fire Mike Vrabel's GM. Is it Robinson? I forget his first name. They bring in Rand Carthon, who and him and Vrabel are fighting. Vrabel loses the power struggle. Rand Carthon traded AJ Brown. I'm giving you the whole chaos here, and then they hire Brian Callahan. A year later, Rand Carthon is fired, and then they draft Cam Ward. 5 months later, Brian Callahan is fired. It's just like, where's the vision? Like, why so many rash decisions? And I'll tell you this right now, Fernando. The only reason they fired Brian Callahan is not to help Cam Ward. They're hindering Cam Ward. And I remember your original question, but they care about selling tickets for the new stadium. That new stadium in Nashville is going to open in 2027. Imagine having this crappy roster, this crappy team to open up a new stadium. Who's going to buy season tickets there? They have a good place for tourists. Maybe the tourists are going to buy the tickets, but other than that, that's all they cared about. Now for Cam Ward, I feel bad for the kid, but then it's kind of like the normal now in the NFL. Caleb Williams lost his coach after 3 months. Bryce Young lost his coach after 2 months. Trevor Lawrence lost his coach. Urban Meyer after 1 season. Baker Mayfield lost his coach after 3 months. Jared Goff lost his coach after 1 year. Jeff Fisher, shout out to you. 7-9 bullshit. It's been 5 minutes. I can say it. But what are we doing to first overall quarterbacks, and even like first round quarterbacks in general? Justin Herbert's had a crap load of coaches too. So I never understand that. And your brother pointed it out, and I know I'm ranting because I'm saying a bunch here. He was like, good. Why did they make Brian Callahan draft the quarterback only to fire him 5 months later? And that's the grand question. Like, why can't the vision be aligned here where you say, okay, we got a big first pick right here. Can we have 3 or 4 guys, decision makers, who are going to be around here for 4 years to help out the rookie quarterback, have the best situation ever, and flourish? Nope, they couldn't do that, right? So here we are today talking about the Tennessee Titans because they're a crappy organization. I'm done.
No, and honestly, you're completely right. I mean, why did we just get Chicago Bears 2.0? Like, why wouldn't you just get rid of them, bring in somebody new? And again, like you said, and the problem is, Gilbert, if they continue to get blown out, I mean, they got beat down by the Raiders. I think that was they're like, dude, the Raiders have been getting crapped on by everybody, and then the Raiders crapped on us. So, Senor,
it's bad when the Raiders beat down your team. They fire everybody.
Exactly, because I mean the Titans had a couple of turnovers too that they should have scored touchdowns on. But Senor Vivement, I'm just wondering where you go from now, because if they keep on getting blown out, what are they going to do? Because the stadium's going to be empty, and then what are you going to promise that now? You know what, they put themselves in a rough spot because now they have to go make a splash. You're going to have to go hire a head coach to make a splash.
More gambles, more desperate decisions, more rash decisions. Yeah, they can't get it right.
There's a head coach who has $1 million buyout that wants to leave UNC. He comes with a 24-year-old girlfriend, but hey, you'll get that's a splash. Remember, Gilbert, you know what's funny? A lot of people shit on the movie with Kevin Costner, Draft Day. Owners are like that, though. Remember what the owner tells them? I don't care what you have to do. I want you to make a splash. That's how owners are. Owners want a splash. I mean, I know it's not funny, but I just don't know what they're going to do. And then my question is, what can Mike McCoy get out of this kid? Because Mike McCoy got 2 years out of Phillip Rivers. Goon was right. They did get into the playoffs because the Chiefs missed a late game field goal and Weddle took that punt. But
was that the year they won like 5 games in a row and they made like a
at the end
run?
of the season? Yeah. No, wait. No, that was the season that they were 9-7 and snuck into the playoffs.
Okay.
And then they went to Cincy and beat the Red Rifle. Like everybody thought that the Chargers were going to get blown out by Cincinnati, and they ended up beating them. But then the year after that, they had a win and you're in against the Chiefs. And I think it was Tamba Hali. No, it was the other guy. Oh God, I forgot their edge rusher. He was with them for a long time too, but he had 6 sacks in the game, and he just destroyed Phillip. It didn't matter who they put in front of him. We've seen Mike McCoy struggle with, I know he was in Arizona after the Chargers stint. Wasn't a good stint. Then he took a couple of years off. He was with Jacksonville when the Chargers, when they came back and beat the Chargers, and everybody thought Mike McCoy had Trevor Lawrence as the quarterback's coach off to a really good start. Then the year after that, it kind of went to crap. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of version Mike McCoy is able to get out of Cam Ward. But the thing is, you have to give the kid weapons, and I don't think Mike McCoy is going to last long enough for that. I think right now the Titans are going to turn into sellers. They're going to start selling some of these players. They're going to start selling some of these contracts. The good thing is, I guess, when you go into the draft next year, you don't have to have a quarterback. So you can look at receiver, offensive line, defensive tackles, defensive line, anywhere else. So I definitely am interested to see what the Titans do, but you needed to fire him. I mean, I guess like you need to make some noise. You did it 9 months too late. I thought they should, or 10 months too late. You should have done it last year. You should have gone to go get a head coach. Maybe a Pete Carroll would have done a really good job with Cam Ward, or maybe one at Mike. Well, no, you can't bring Mike Vrabel back because you had already fired him. But at least go do something. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Titans. The Chargers go play the Titans in a couple of weeks, so it'll be interesting to see Mike McCoy against his former team. But yeah, Gilbert, any final thoughts on this?
No, but I'll go off of what our Moy 42 mentioned here. You know, they should trade a bunch of people, especially, you know, to rebuild. You know, even Jeffrey Simmons. Like I saw the comments from Jeffrey Simmons where he was like, "Yeah, this was our worst week of practice like ever, and that's why we got our butts whooped against the Raiders from all teams." So, yeah, you know, send everybody out. Trade L'Jarius Sneed to the Rams. I already mentioned that one. They need a cornerback there. Trade Jeffrey Simmons to maybe the Bears. Any team that needs a defensive tackle, maybe go to the Cowboys. They're really fascinated with defensive tackles there because Kenny Clark
would be a good duo.
Yeah. So, and then who else is good there? I don't even know. Like that's pretty much all they have there on that roster. But just trade everybody. They spent a lot of money a couple years ago, and they might do it again recklessly. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, Gilbert, let's move on to let's go to Miami as the LA Chargers end up beating the Miami Dolphins 29-27. The Chargers had full control. Well, in the first half, it looked like the 0-2 team that had played the last 2 weeks. The Chargers struggled on offense to move the football. Once they got they struggled to score because they were moving the ball almost at will with some of the formations that they were doing. But once they would get in the red zone, they would crap out. They ended up kicking 3 field goals. And in the second half, in the third quarter, they exploded 2 straight touchdowns. It looked like Greg Roman was using 6 and 7 man sets to keep on the line so that they could block for Justin Herbert, obviously. And then the Chargers were up 26-13. They end up Miami ends up coming back. They end up taking the lead. They end up taking the lead 27-26. A lot of people aren't talking about 2 players not named Justin Herbert or Ladd McConkey or Cameron Dicker. I won't throw him in there. Nyheim Hines takes the ensuing kickoff, goes 41 yards, sets up the Chargers to only need 18 yards to set up Cameron Dicker for his career-long field goal. And first play, Justin Herbert gets knocked down. Second play, he ends up hiking it. Jalen Phillips is all over him. Herbert switches the ball from his right hand to his left hand, evades the sack, puts the ball back in his right hand, finds Ladd McConkey. Ladd is like a bull, what's it called? Como torero.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matador. Thank you. Because he just does this little move where he goes, ole, moves out of the way, heads up 42 yards, ends up setting up the field goal. Gilbert, I don't know if you saw the long snapper, ends up hiking it behind the punter. Punter's able to grab it, put it down. J.K. Scott's able to put it down, kicks it, and Cameron Dicker, and they win the game. Gilbert, your thoughts on this matchup, this game? What did you think of it?
Yeah, you probably know better than I do on the posts of the Charger fan base and the reaction was. I'm sure people were losing it for almost losing that game, but honestly, they had to have it. They had to win that game. You couldn't go 3 games in a row losing. It was set up for failure because you let Achane run wild all over you, and that's been a problem with the run defense there. You were down a bunch of weapons, no Quentin Johnson, no Amarian Hampton, so it was one of these games like, hey, Herbert, you still got Lad McConkey. Go make something happen, and they did. And I think that goes back to what I kept saying about Herbert the first 3 weeks of the season. Like, he's gonna find a way to carry you to victory, despite the tough circumstances. So to just find a way, like, that's all I care about. Like, no style points. Same thing. We'll talk about the Rams here. No style point. Just get the damn W. Look at the Dolphins. Like, they lost, and they're having a whole can of worms there with Tua talking about, like, yeah, we're late to meetings. Like, they're the ones that they're miserable, not the Chargers. So now you get good vibes coming home from a long flight. And Albert Breer mentioned this, my coworker, and I know it's a lot of excuses, but it does make sense. They started week 1 in Brazil, had to go to New York, had to go to Miami, had to go to the Raiders after the Brazil game. It's a tough, slate travel-wise. Then you got a bunch of injuries. You don't have any offensive line. Just take the W. Be happy you're 4-2. Honestly, that's what I take away from this game here. There's a whole lot of ugly there. I don't even care if Jim Harbaugh says, let's burn the tape here. You got number 10. You got Lyle McConkey, who everybody was frustrated with McConkey, especially fantasy football people. Maybe you don't care about that, Fernando. But why is Keenan getting all the catches? Why is Quentin Johnson getting all the catches? Who cares? It's your time to step up. Lyle McConkey did it. Lyle McConkey's the baller. I never was worried about him. So to me, he's their best receiver, I feel like. But it hasn't been the case for the first month of the season. But here he is. When the toughest time arose, he was ready for the challenge.
I completely agree. Pepe Le Pew Pew is talking about, that's a line from Step Brothers. Jesus. But I completely agree with you. A win is a win no matter what. I do know that the Chargers were hoping, and I don't want to say a request was made, but they were hoping that the Jacksonville and Miami games would be back to back so that they could stay out there and get ready for the other game and not have to fly all the way back. But obviously that did not happen. So they're just like, all right, let's go with it. Whatever we have to do, we have to do. We all know the Rams and the Chargers get screwed when it comes to their schedules, especially because both of them have to play. Well, one of them in Europe, the other one has to play in Brazil. I agree with you though. You're winning. You won this game. I know it was a tough game, but it's a game that could change your season. Seeing the ball go through, when a shooter's in a cold slump and you don't see the ball going through the hoop, you saw the ball going through the hoop. You saw Justin Herbert and all your guys kind of say, all right, let's do it. Like, Bobby Hart hadn't played a game in 2 years. He hadn't started in a game in 2 years. Naheem Hines hadn't played in a game since January 7th, 2022. And he came out and he put up that, he had that kick return. So those are 2 guys that you kind of counted out. Now, am I saying that Bobby Hart should start every week? Hell no. But he gave you at least a decent performance. I thought Zion Johnson played well. And Jim said it today, but he said that Bradley Bozeman included him in the he had a stalwart performance. Stalwart is obviously a word that Jim likes to use as like a hard nose, a tough SOB, bro. Like, I don't know what he's like. I know he's defending him, but I just don't know how you. It's so bad. Like, it's bad. Like, in one of those plays, Justin's running for his life. Bradley's on the ground, kind of doing like snow angels or I don't know what. But I'm just like, how can you defend this? Like, and I don't know if and who knows? Maybe Andre James is really that much worse than Bradley Bozeman, but I don't know if it's like one of those decisions where they don't want to screw up the chemistry. I don't know what it is. Whatever. But if the Chargers are able to hold, like I said last week, hold on. If you can hold on for reinforcements that are coming back, then they're going to be fine. I mean, Adam Schefter just said on the Pat McAfee show that they're still they're looking for a what's it called? They're looking for a running back. And fans yesterday were overreacting. They're like, we don't need a running back. Look at Kamani Vidal. Dude, you just played the 32 worst ranked rushing defense in the NFL. Like, no, I'm not trying to take anything away from Kamani, but like, you need another running back, especially because Ian went on NFL Network yesterday and said that from what he's hearing, Omarion Hampton's going to be out longer than the 4 weeks initially told. Have you seen the play where he gets hurt? He's running. Hampton, no. So it's a 4th down. He's running to the right. He gets tripped up and the corner falls on top of his ankle. So that's where he got all messed up. But I'm like, dude, what a freak accident. But I definitely
get Tony Pollard from Tennessee. Get Breece Hall from the Jets. Get Alvin Kamara, who I don't think is gonna get traded, but there's a lot of options out there.
You know, I told Dan yesterday on the show, why wouldn't you just turn around and call Miami and be like, what do you want for H-N?
Yeah.
I mean, the dude just ran all over you. You could use some speed. That's the thing the Chargers don't have on their offense is speed. And I think a speed like him could definitely benefit. I think if you had a 2-back system like them, I think it'd be pretty good. But
that'd be a tricky one though, because like, how much would you give up knowing that you have Hampton, the 1st-round pick coming?
Well, and not just that, the Chargers don't have as much draft capital as they have in years past.
They might require like a day 2 pick, 2nd or 3rd. I feel like.
You think so?
I think so. I think he's that talented.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think if you put in a 4th this year and like a 5th or 6th the year after, I mean, who knows? But at least make the call. Yeah. You just can't come away with and I see fans and they're still dead set on this. Who was the one during training camp that everybody was so excited? Rocket Sanders. I'm like, the Browns aren't even using him. Like, what are you guys talking? Like and this is the problem with training camp is that fans fall in love with guys during training camp and they realize like, hey, maybe this guy is just not that good. I don't know. But on the Tua side of things, if it's a player-led meeting, aren't you the quarterback? Aren't you the one that's supposed to like get those guys together and aren't you the one that has to be like the leader that gets guys together? Like,
you're the quarterback. You should be organizing these player-only meetings.
It's not even that. Let me if you look at it, it's the first one. All right. Like, listen to what he says. Like it just all sounds so bad. Hold on, there we go.
Well, I think it starts with the leadership.
I thought it was AI.
And helping articulate that for the guys. And then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late. Guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? So it's a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things.
You know, it's funny, Dan Patrick, and we'll get off of this, but Dan Patrick basically said, and I completely agree. It sounds like it's a quarterback that wants his head coach fired.
Yep.
Like, why else would you say that? And that's another thing that came out of the Tennessee Titans this week. The players were all sluggish. You know, when you can see it, Gilbert, when a team has quit on a coach. And I mean, I've seen it twice already. Twice. Yes. I'll tell you one thing. The Chargers never gave up on Anthony Lynn. I know everybody talks about that Patriots Chargers game. That wasn't a quit. That was just the Patriots.
Didn't they win 4 games in a row at the end or something like that?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So, I mean, they didn't quit on him. So, but I've seen the quit for Brandon Staley and I've seen the quit for Mike McCoy. And these guys haven't quit. Or these guys have quit. Like, both of them. They both quit. So, what happens when you quit? You shit like this happens. So I really wonder what the future is for Mike McDaniel. I know a lot of Charger fans were memeing like, "Oh, hey, can I have a job after I get shit canned?" And Charger fans obviously now want Mike McDaniel. I get it. Like, people are still really not happy with Greg Roman, but I definitely think that if Mike McDaniel's gone, Chris Greer needs to join him. Because what other, like, you can't keep one and not keep the other and everything. But by the way, did you see the picture of that Stephen Ross had come down? Let me get this real quick, and then we'll move on. Stephen Ross had come down to the field to celebrate with the team after they were going to beat the Chargers. Oh. And look at his.
That reminds me of that. It was a couple years ago. Dan Marino comes down the field thinking the Dolphins are going to win, and the Titans come back at the end. I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah. It was like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it was like a Monday night game. Yeah, he's like, "What the hell am I watching here?"
Exactly. All right, Gilbert. The
Rams.
The Rams end up beating. Sorry, they end up losing Puka Nacua. He didn't end up coming back, right?
He did, but he wasn't needed much because the game was pretty much in control the whole time.
Well, the Rams end up barely. Well, after the Baltimore Ravens got shellacked by the Houston Texans, it seems like the Baltimore Ravens kind of fought back for their head coach after the week that he was having with everybody talking about him. Cooper Rush, 11 out of 19, 72 yards. Tyler Huntley, 10 out of 15, 68 yards. Not much going on there. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 122. If they lose one more game, do you think the Chargers should call and be like, hey, you already gave us that pass rusher. Would you give us Derrick Henry?
Everybody should call. But again, it's like the Chargers are in a tough position because you just spent the first round pick on a running back. And it's like, how much would a Derrick Henry who's like what 30, 31? I lost track, Fernando.
Third round pick.
How much would he cost? Yeah, third round. You also got to take on his contract that he just signed too. I think he has a couple of years on it.
I'd give up a fourth.
I would do a third round. I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't care about the future. Like if I'm in it to win now, I would do it. He's still that good. He has a fumbling problem, but I would do it.
On the opposite side, Matthew Stafford, 17 to 26, 181, 1 touchdown. Kyron Williams, 13 carries, 50 yards, 1 touchdown. Higbee was the high man here. 4 catches, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. Gilbert, I did not watch much of this game. I just thought it was going to be
It was, yeah.
Oh, it was?
It really was. It was pretty bad.
What did you think?
And because it's such a snoozer, I'll answer Brian's question here. Will the Rams need to call up a wide receiver from the practice squad? I think they do, which it was weird because Nacua came back on the field. I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention this close. I don't remember if he stayed on the field after that first drive. He came back. Maybe they said, take it easy. But it was kind of like it's strange that he made it back on the sideline. Was that trying to play. And then Sean McVay pretty much almost ruled them out. He didn't say Puka Nacua wasn't going to play for sure, but he's like, yeah, it's going to be a tough one for him to play in London against the Jaguars, which should be a tough game. I know the Jaguars, pretty much folded against the Seahawks, but still, that's their home turf right there for the Jaguars. But I think the Rams should, just kind of focus on their guys. They have a bunch of wide receivers. It's just Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay don't really use them. Just make Devontae Adams your number one wide receiver. Get more out of Tutu Atwell, who's made some plays, who I already sent my apology to because I thought he's just stealing money from the team, $10 million for doing nothing. But he's doing more now. Jordan Whittington has shown some flashes. Maybe use a tight ends more, like Terrence Ferguson, who had a season high in snaps over the weekend. So you have options. You don't really need to worry about the practice squad or signing somebody. So go that route. And then on the game side, it was all defense. They have a good defense. They don't have a secondary, but they have Nate Landman in the middle, and they have some great pass rushers. So to me, like I said on House of Horns, it's like they still have a lot of issues, but you had to win this one. Don't worry about style points. Just get the W. Stay in Baltimore an extra week. Worry about the London game, and you figure out the rest. I think they still play the Buccaneers. They still play the Lions. We'll see the measuring stick when they play those games, but right now, I can't tell if they're better or worse than last year, Fernando. They kind of just seem like they're stuck in this area where they have good receivers and good pass rushers, but they have a lot of issues everywhere else. They were better in the kicking game, but Josh McCarty missed a field goal. Again, you've got to trade for a cornerback. This is not a good secondary. It's not a secondary that's going to lead you to the Super Bowl. So we'll see what they do. They got a couple weeks to figure it out, but they got lucky. They got Cooper Rush and Zay Flowers fumbled twice too yesterday. So they didn't need the cornerbacks yesterday.
I think it's a good moment for Devontae and Matthew. If Puka can't go, and again, the Rams need to think about the long term. If they need to put Puka on a plane to fly back to LA, put him on a plane, have him fly back to LA, and you guys go to Europe and go do that. There's no sense of putting him in there. Go let him go rehab. I think they have their bye week, right? During the after London game. You have 2 weeks to get him ready. So why not almost 3, because obviously the week that he comes back, but you've already put enough stress on Puka. Why not have him rest? And this is a good chance for Devontae and Matthew to kind of get going and for the running game to get going. By the way, they're playing a Jags team that a week ago we all thought, oh wow, okay, they're pretty impressive. They beat the Chiefs, and now they lost to the Seahawks, and you're like, okay, who the hell are you? Like, are you good? Are you shit? Like, who are you really? So I think that's something. I know that was really bad. That was not.
They lost by 8 points, but it felt like they lost by 20.
Yeah, no, that was not a good look at all. Yeah, I'm just wondering what they're gonna end up doing, but should be an interesting game. I know Eric will be watching it on our way to Chargers Colts, so I'm interested to see because sometimes he puts it on the US or the car and I can hear it, so I'm interested to hear what.
So the Colts are coming back to LA twice.
Yeah.
Jeez, interesting.
I mean, that's a similar thing with the Chargers. Why wouldn't you just let them stay out there and do that? Like the Commanders came in a day early.
Yeah.
And they came in a day and a half early. They practiced at the Coliseum.
Yep.
And then they stayed. Like, I think more teams should be doing that. The only thing is that
more money.
When you have new ownership like the Commanders do, they can do all that stuff. So I mean, that's what happens. But all right, Gilbert. Moving right along. Are the Kansas City Chiefs back? Why do I ask that? Because the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Detroit Lions 30-17. Patrick Mahomes 22 of 30, 257, 3 touchdowns. Their run game was not very good. Kelsey 6 catches, 78 yards. And then on the other side, Jared Goff 23 of 29, 203, 2 touchdowns. The surprising part, Gilbert, to me, and I'll get to you in a second, is they went away from Jamari Gibbs and David Montgomery. I mean, David Montgomery 4 carries, 24, Gibbs 17 of 65. I felt like they for some reason, Gilbert, I think they kind of go away from, they use one, they get away, they don't use the other one, then they kind of go back to the other one, and it's like you should have a consistent number of carries that both of them should be hitting. And I felt like yesterday, like you said, that 4th down, there was 2 things. One, you can maybe explain this to me more. Why was Jared Goff's touchdown not a touchdown? Why was there illegal motion? Because they threw the flag very late. Like, they threw it like 5 minutes after the play had happened. And I don't know. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know if you could go to the video review. I don't know what they did because I wasn't listening. I was watching the Ed Gein documentary, I
watched that too after the game. Yeah.
Oh my God. He's a sick mother. But it's like Dan said, people from Wisconsin, Gilbert, I mean, mother?
Doing the voice. Hey, wait, do you want to see a magic trick? I thought it was a neat trick.
Mother? I cannot fornicate with you because mother says I shouldn't fornicate with a whore.
Are you a Jezebel?
Yeah, exactly. But Gilbert, it seems like, well, obviously the Lions were also they were missing several players on defense, and you could just tell. But I thought this told us more about the Chiefs. That Pepe Le Pew Pew, Ed Gein is who, like, Dahmer and all these guys kind of modeled their like, it was their, like, Tom Brady or whatever. Like, he was like the guy that got it all, the
Tom Brady of
killers. Cereal.
Yeah, they made Psycho off of this character.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
And
I didn't know how to explain
it. Massacre is based off his story too. So it's
exactly. But I don't know what you thought. I thought obviously the Chiefs looked strong offensively, but I just thought like Detroit just couldn't handle and didn't have the cornerbacks. That's it. If I'm Detroit, L'Jarius Sneed is a player I would go get because you're going to need somebody like that. So Pepe Le Pew Pew, no, he was from Wisconsin. a very, very, very small town in Wisconsin. But what did you?
Was too.
Oh yeah, exactly, and that's what Dan tells a certain individual that you're only famous for for guys like that, and yeah. So Gilbert, what was your takeaway?
It's actually a weird game to dissect, and I know we're going to touch on
weird.
Jared Goff later on, so I'll try to go a little bit all over the place and hit the points. Like, yeah, like the Chiefs pretty much had their way, but they kind of got a break, and I know people lost their crap on that play you're talking about. Also, the Chiefs didn't get a single flag in that game. I saw people
that's wild.
Made a big deal off of that, but like I feel like they caught a break the second that Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped that pass. Like it was like such a pivotal point in the game. It was only the second quarter, but it really had like a 20-point swing. The Lions could have taken the lead there on that drive there. The Chiefs ended up scoring some points there. They went up 10 points, and the Lions fell behind for the first time, double digits since week 1, when they also abandoned the run. And I know I wrote about this too, and I felt like my story is a little complicated because I'm not sure what's the real problem for Detroit. Like, they're still my Super Bowl pick, but it's just weird that you're not able to you're not built to play from behind. Like, how's that possible? How can you be a Super Bowl contender when you can't throw your way into a game? And then Jared Goff, that drive where they were down 10 for the first time, you know what the Lions did? They threw the ball 8 times in a row. Jared Goff completed every single pass. They scored the touchdown, and then it's to that great pass to Laporta, and they trim it to 3. So I'm like, it's not really a Jared Goff problem. And then on the other side, the defense just folded. They had the tent. They knocked it over. Mahomes did what they wanted. And I'm like, okay, that's the problem. I think it's the defense. I don't want to blame Jared Goff. I get it. He's not a superstar quarterback. He has his limitations. But when you're guiding an offense that's like putting up 30 points every single week, and it's not his fault that Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped that pass. And then there's a lot of things to play.
Aiden Hutchinson 15-yard penalty. That was on second. It would have been like second and 10.
Yeah, and then I know I'm all over the place. So Brian Branch, you wait until the game is over to fight back. Get the hell out of here! Like, you were picked up. You were picked on by Patrick Mahomes, and then you're a poor sport when Mahomes trying to shake your hand. You shove it out the way because you got burned time after time. Rashee Rice wasn't even back, and you still lost that badly. So to me, I'm going to chalk it up to one bad, ugly game for the Detroit Lions. But the thing about them not being able to play from behind is starting to get on my radar. How can that be for a team that could drop 50 points on any given day? Are you really set? And by the way, Chris Collinsworth was really taking shots at Jared Goff. It was very subtle, and it kind of seemed like it was not the real. They weren't like jabs, but he's like, it's 2 minutes to go in the game. He's like, yeah, that Jared Goff, man, he's only good. Well, he didn't say that. He's only good when they play off play action. He's only good when Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery are going off. Like, he needs that. He can't play from behind. He said it 4 times. I'm like, well, crap. Well, let me look into it. And it's it's starting to look like it a little bit. So, yeah, but I want to focus on defense. The defense is not good. I think Terry Arnold, their first-round pick, has been hurt, but he's not good when he plays either. Hutchinson has been on a tear since he came back, but he's their only option there as an edge rusher. So to me, I'm going to say it was a bad game for the Lions. And the Chiefs, too, they did not look that impressive. They caught a break with Amon-Ra St. Brown dropping that pass. But I'll say Andy Reid, man, he took that defense to school. He put the Chiefs offense in the best positions to take advantage of matchups, and they had no answer there. That's what Kelvin Shepard, the DC's his age, really showed up. The other side, Spagnuolo, took John Morton to school too. So it was just a coaching clinic, and I'm gonna say that's what it was with Fernando here. I'm not gonna get too high or too low on either side here.
No, I completely agree with you, especially because those two guys they're rookies. They're rookie coaches. They're barely starting to learn how to walk, how to piss, and all that. So I'm definitely interested to see how they're gonna bounce back. But yeah, no, they definitely showed their deficiencies and that's what I think it was, because they were doing a lot of different things. And again, it wasn't like Chris Jones had a great game or anything like that. It was the defense as a whole. I think they were pissed off after but that's the thing. Why does it take until you get beat by the Jags for you to have a game like that? So that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it's just they took advantage of the inexperience. And if they played a team with more experience, are they going to lose some of those games? So I'm interested to see moving forward what the Chiefs look like. They're going to get played tough this weekend against the Raiders, but
no,
you don't think so?
They lose by 20.
I think Brock Bowers comes back.
You see the Raiders play the Titans one time, you think they're going to make it a challenge?
No. I'm not on that. No, but the Raiders usually play them pretty.
When they thought they had a rivalry here,
they play them pretty tough. I mean, it
was one time on freaking Black Friday, get out of here, or Christmas, whatever the heck it was.
Was that Derek Carr and Henry Ruggs?
I don't remember. Well,
no. I remember there was a game where Henry Ruggs just completely blasted.
That was way after that. It was like
by the way,
years with Tony Pierce.
He is going to play in the NFL again. I hope everybody knows that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even give that guy
26 years
I wouldn't
old.
give him 2 seconds of time in my
he
stories.
He is 26 years old, and I think he gets out of prison next year.
No.
I'm willing to bet.
If somebody does that, they're freaking stupid. But yeah,
I am willing to bet whatever anybody wants that Henry Ruggs plays down in the NFL again. There's nothing much more I can add to that, but it was just a clinic. I mean, we all know when you have two veterans like that, like them, that's where you're getting into. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, maybe Pete Carroll has a trick or two up his sleeves for them next week. So, I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's move on real quick. Gilbert, Baker Mayfield has no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, and he ends up taking it to the San Francisco 49ers 30-19. Now, obviously, the 49ers have their own issues. Fred Warner goes out with an ankle injury. It seems like he's done for the year, which is unfortunate. That team is plagued with injuries. They went at it in the Injury Bowl, Gilbert, to say the least. But after the performance from Baker Mayfield, after going 17-23, 256, 2 touchdowns, and the way that, I mean, he had no, like, even Emeka Egbuka was out for the game. He left in the second quarter. But to win this game without his 3 top receivers, Gilbert, is he your MVP so far?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not even close. He's my MVP. He didn't have the game-winning drive, but you don't need to have a game-winning drive every single week. To me, the biggest moment he had that looked like an MVP, or 2 moments back-to-back, that game was over when Baker escaped the pocket on 3rd and 14, ran the ball for 15 yards. He was a Baker Mayfield of, Oklahoma, early Browns day, just showing off, flexing. I loved it. I love the energy. And then that hanging dime that he threw to the rookie 7th round pick. That's how bad it's been right now with the wide receivers getting hurt. He still threw a dime, 45 yards to Tez Johnson, who made an even better catch, by the way. He kind of hung it a little too far out for Tez, and he was able to dive for it, which I'm not surprised, because he did like 4 backflips after that. Like, this guy's very athletic. So he's a speedy guy who's a little more, he's kind of like Tutu Atwell, a little slim guy, small dude, but he has good hands, man. So maybe they find a role for him. It's kind of hard on that team when Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Egbuka get healthy. But to make it work with what you have, no Bucky Irving, Rashad White looks like a good running back in the system here. And even to this banning here, this question's been answered a year ago. Like, Baker Mayfield is not a system quarterback. He's taken coaches from OC to head coach. Liam Cohen, Dave Canales.
Do it this year too.
He might do it with Grizzard. Like, I don't know if he's gonna get that. I feel like after a while, it's like, okay, is that too many? But Cohen's doing well.
Canales, if he wins the MVP, there's no way.
Yeah, so maybe he does something too. And I think with Grizzard, he was under Liam Cohen last year, so it was continuity with the scheme, which is beneficial for Baker Mayfield. Again, look at Cam Ward, look at all the number 1 picks. Baker Mayfield was in that situation when you lose a coach right away. You learn like 4 or 5 playbooks in the span of 4 or 5 years. So that was big for him, and then we're seeing that to do that. Like, there's still like 3 or 4 offensive linemen that are missing from the starting lineup, and he's still making it work. Now, I don't want to just talk about Baker. You've done this before. For now, Todd Bowles, man, should be coach of the year right now. He might be the front runner. The way he was confusing Mac Jones came back down to earth. That's why you're more of a high-end QB2, Mac Jones. All this crap about Brock Purdy, put that to rest there. He's not a QB1 consistently because he gets rattled. Sometimes when you get good schemes like that, he's going to make killer mistakes. But Mac Jones has been great. I'm not trying to crap on him. I just want to give Todd Bowles credit. He looked flustered at the end there. But again, Baker Mayfield pretty much stole the game on those 2 plays right there. So, yeah, they're finding ways to win. They don't look super mighty, Fernando. They're not like an unbeatable team, but who is right now? I can't name you one unbeatable team. So they're in the race, man. You know, I'll throw money at them because they seem that good right now.
The thing is that they also have reinforcements coming. Once those reinforcements all come in, then that's when they're going to look pretty crazy. Because, I mean, they have McMillan. They're about to have a 4-receiver system with Mike Evans, McMillan, Godwin, and Mika Ibuka. Like, it might be. And then the 2 running backs, like, they're going to be – and then the offensive linemen coming back and everything. I think they're going to be even better. And I'm sure they never stay quiet. I think they'll make a trade or 2 before for the defensive side of things.
Hassan hasn't done much. Riddick.
Yeah, no, and I think they will try and address that. I just don't know if it'll be Trey Hendrickson because it looks like he's going to be missing some time. Garrett Wilson looks like he'll be missing some time as well. So interesting with that. Let us, before we bring in Vic, Gilbert, did you see this? Hold on. I guess the Rams are staying in Baltimore for a day or they're going to be practicing at
a couple days.
Orioles Park. Look at that.
Wow. I'm assuming they're not in the baseball playoffs anymore.
Oh, dude, hold on. Look at this comment. That field is foreign to October activity. More scrimmage yards and playoff wins in recent years in Baltimore's.
They were decent for a couple years. I forget.
Oh my God, it's so funny to see. All right, let us now bring in Vic and let us see what.
Ask him about that one time he almost got murdered on the train to Baltimore.
Oh shoot! Okay, that'll be very.
Scary as
I don't think he's laughing, but we'll see what he says.
That's how serious it was.
Vic, how are you doing?
Doing good. I can't believe we're in week 6. Honestly,
Vic, you can crap on the city of Baltimore. You said you had a scary experience when you.
I did. I actually wasn't a train. It was a bus. I had to take a bus from the airport to my hotel. But I will say this: it's the best hotel I've ever stayed at. Like, their breakfast was bomb. Like, they had a dude there doing the what is it the omelet.
You went to Baltimore, didn't you?
I did. I wanted Victor to be the tourist who craps in the city and then like never goes back just goes to the bad parts.
Yeah, no, he just he started off and then he went really nice after that.
I do like the location of their stadium right in the downtown. There's a lot of things to kind of do, so they have some perks.
Did you guys have some?
And they also used to have the best press box location in all of football. It was right in the middle of everything, centered in the middle of the field.
Oh,
they moved it though.
They must have like the best baseball and NFL stadium combination, because that baseball stadium is one of the top ones in Major League Baseball.
Is it next to each other? I forget.
I don't know, but in terms of like if we're talking about like I've heard great things about MT Bank Stadium, so I have not been there.
I remember Dan and I were on our way to Washington, D.C. back in 2019. My brother, my sister, and I went to D.C. to just go check it. Well, my sister couldn't go because she had a final, but my brother and I went, and we took a bus from New York to Washington at like 10 o'clock at night. So when we get to Washington, we pull up to a cemetery, or to Baltimore. We pull up to a cemetery, and somebody asked the bus driver, "What the hell? What are we doing at a cemetery?" He's like, "Oh, this is the bus stop. We're picking up people." And like there was a dude running towards the bus, and the lady starts screaming, "You better close those damn doors!" And then he's like, "Do you have a ticket?" She's like, "Who gives a shit what he has? Close the damn doors!" And they closed the doors, and we took off. And I don't know. It was crazy. It was like midnight. Like when we got to the hotel, it was like 1 a.m, and then the dude had like no feet, so he was just dragging himself. Remember in Shallow Hal, the guy that drags himself? Like Daniel's like, "Here it goes." He's like, "Okay." he's like, you take the head, just kick him in the face, and then I'll take him down. I was like, take him down. He's already down. What are you talking about?
So this was at a stop by the cemetery. Is that what you said?
Yeah. No, that was the cemetery. Yeah, but when we got to our hotel in DC,
Ah.
the guy had like no legs, and he had to come over and like open the door for us, but he was dragging himself. And I mean, Daniel's seen a lot of zombie movies and stuff, so I was like, damn. So yeah, it was.
This story reminded me of that scene from Harry Potter when they get on that bus.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was number 3. Take it away, Ernie. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Yeah, I love that movie.
Go. See, I knew you do.
Yeah, Gilbert doesn't know anything about that. He stopped at freaking number 6. He didn't even watch 7 or 8.
I got to like I got to like 5.
Hey, this is the time to watch Harry Potter in October and November.
All right, Vic, what do you got for us?
All right. I wanted to ask you guys, and I was telling Gilbert on our game week with the Compas about this. It's weird. The home road splits between with the Seahawks and Mike McDonald, since he's taken over as Seahawks coach. They're 10-1 on the road, and they're what did I have here? They're like 6 and
at home.
Yeah, they're 4-7 at home. So are you guys taking them seriously with these road splits, home and road splits?
Obviously, I have other reasons why I'm not taking them seriously. I give them a little credit for
Sam Darnold
for beating the Jaguars, but that is very concerning that you can't really win at home. But it's a good problem to have, right? Like, well, not a good problem. Like, you rather be the
winning
team
the division.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, it's not good, but like if you're the team that can't win on the road, that's a bigger problem. Like, you could fix not winning at home. I get that. But yeah, you're right, Fernando. They haven't beat the 49ers in the division. They haven't played the Rams just yet. They barely let they let the Cardinals hang around. They barely beat them. Not to self, never go to Baltimore. We're not saying all that. It's just be careful.
Shut up. That's exactly what you just said.
I wanted not me. He didn't go for it. But yeah, I don't know. I know that people are trying to make a thing. Like, it's like, oh yeah, they lost to the Buccaneers, but they're a good team. They beat down the Jaguars. Oh, sure, I'll give them credit, but and I'm not a total hater. I've been saying, you know what? If they unleash Sam Darnold, I'll start giving them respect, and they're doing that. They finally realized like Sam Darnold could play, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba, man, he is a baller. I apologize. I was a little worried that without DK Metcalf, he's not going to benefit from the matchup. Legit number one. He is just straight killing it right now. Those two guys are on a tear. It's funny how when Darnold has Justin Jefferson, it's like, oh man, he's benefiting from Jefferson, and Jefferson's doing all the work. And then with Njigba, it's like, yeah, look at Darnold making that guy look good. It's like, it's weird how we just kind of, have the narratives, but Njigba is just as good, not as good, but close to Jefferson level, which says a lot. But I think I've seen enough in Darnold to say he's also carrying the weight there. He doesn't have the Kevin O'Connell, the whisper in his ear to do everything there. So offensively, they're impressing me. I think they have something going there. They made it work with the O-line. Their running game's up and down, but you don't want to rely too much on that running game because I think Darnold, again, is a key. I don't think they have enough special players defensively, but I've always said, Mike McDonald knows how to scheme it up, and they frustrate the crap out of Trevor Lawrence. That's why I can't get behind Trevor Lawrence. He's too up and down. And that's not the case right now with Sam Darnold. Lawrence has 1 good week, 2 bad a week, 3 good weeks, 4 bad weeks. It's hard to trust the guy. Credit to McDonald. He did it. So to answer the question here, Vic, I'm a little concerned because I need more from the Seahawks, but they're starting to get my attention. And to your credit, you're on them, but I think they're still a little overrated.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of guys that are hurt in that secondary. As you guys were talking about earlier about some of those teams that might get some reinforcements, there's somebody to kind of keep an eye on, especially if they get their secondary fixed. Fernando, what do you got for me here?
What?
No, what do you got? Like, what do you think about? Are you concerned about the road splits? Yeah, I mean, the home and road splits with the Seahawks.
By the way, what Brett's saying is true. Everybody's talking about like everybody used to say, "Oh my God, Zay Flowers is the best receiver out of these 3 or 4 receivers that got drafted together." Now everybody's saying that QJ, Addison, and JSN are the good ones, and Zay sucks. So that's pretty funny how stuff changes in 1 year. It is concerning because you like your home matches you're supposed to win. It's the away that's going to be the up and down. But I mean, if they get into the playoffs, they're going to be on the road. There's no way they're beating the Rams or the 49ers for that division. But if they can go on the road, then I mean, more power to you. It is concerning though. I mean, you want to win at home, you want to win with your fans. You don't want to have them leave all pissed off. And like Gilbert and I were talking about, I mean, look at the Titans. They want to sell season tickets for their new stadium, and who's going to be a part of that? So obviously they're not in the same vicinity, but I am concerned about the Seahawks in a sense. Like they haven't had a signature win at home yet, and I feel like that's kind of they've had signature wins on the road, but they haven't had it at home. So I do think that they need like one or two, especially when let's see, they have
you're gonna have the Rams.
They have the Rams going there. They're the Seahawks. No, the Texans come there next Monday. So you're
another doubleheader.
Yeah, the Jaguars are best win of the season. That's not really saying a lot either.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
well,
that's
they beat the Steelers. Your Steelers, I guess you can say.
They haven't been my team this year. That team is one that I've just ignored. They
have the Colts, the Vikings, and the Rams go, and the Texans go to the Seahawks. They're going to need to split at least those two damn games. Like, what are we doing? But I agree with 1,000% with Gilbert. I do think that it is concerning. I mean, like I said, if they can make the playoffs, you're going to be on the road. So there you go. More power to you. But
all right, last one. We'll go fast here. Fact or fiction? Have the Panthers finally turned a corner in the rebuild, Fernando?
No. They're playing well at home, but like again, the opposite of the freaking like it's like Gilbert said yesterday in the group chat. Great job beating the Cowboys. Now they're gonna go on the road and go get shellacked by whoever the hell they're playing. I don't even know who they have.
With them too, like they're really good at home, but on the road they are terrible.
Well,
they're gonna go play the Jets.
Oh, Jets! Oh yeah. They better win that one.
Oh, and then the Bills come there. That's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be really interesting.
Yeah,
to see what happens there. But yeah, no, I definitely think that the Panthers are doing some good stuff. It's just, can you win on the road? And you haven't. You've gotten crapped on the road, and you still have to go to Green Bay in a couple of weeks. You still have to play some of your divisional opponents away from there. So, I don't think they've done a huge turnaround. I think we're going to see more of the same of what we saw last year. Very good moments, crappy moments, but it's just going to be kind of a roller coaster up and down with them. Again, Bryce Young is kind of hit or miss. He has some good moments. He has some bad moments. Yesterday, he was a lot better. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. I'm not going to say he outplayed like Dak or anything because Dak obviously played well. But on their side, I mean, you finally got McMillan going with the 2 touchdowns. Now you got to get him going with some yards and doing that more consistently. But I definitely think the Panthers are okay. Like they're an okay team, but if you can't win on the road, I mean, I just said that if you can't win at home, you suck. Well, if these guys can't win on the road, then who the hell are you really? So I'm kind of split on both of these teams, but the Panthers, no, there's no way that they're going to turn it around and be a playoff team like Gilbert said.
Gilbert, you wrote about this.
Yeah, I completely agree with Fernando, and I'll just say fact only because it's like maybe this is something they could build. I'm not saying they're all the way back, like even if they beat the Jets, what the hell is that going to do? But I think there's something here that Canales needs to focus on and just run with it. And if he does that, I think it's a big fact here. And I'll say this by crapping on Bryce Young, but also giving him a compliment. Okay, by now he's not gonna be a superstar quarterback. We know that he's not gonna be a legit, top 10 quarterback, but he could be.
Caleb.
What was that?
Is Caleb?
It's too soon. I could see. I see more in him than Bryce. Bryce Young, I give up in terms of that. But have you noticed every time the offensive line is producing and the running game is doing well? Like what Rico Dow is doing is similar to what Chuba Hubbard did last year. He got paid in November of last year because he was running through those lanes that the offensive line is producing. People don't talk about Canales' running scheme. It's like, Kyle Shanahan's, or the Shanahan zone scheme there. He has something there where, like, whenever they run the football like crazy with Rico Dow, Chuba Hubbard, Bryce Young looks like a competent quarterback. He's just doing what Daniel Jones is doing with the Colts, with Shane Steichen. He's running the scheme efficiently. That's a ceiling, I think. Just being a game manager, get it out the way, have a couple plays here for Ted McMillan, and run the damn football. Have a good O-line. If he's able to focus on that, on your bread and butter, where you get, maybe you somehow find better linemen, you get like a Rico Dow. How long can he keep doing this? I don't know. find your real bell cow, like a Derrick Henry, then you got something cooking. I think that's the recipe there. And also, this defense with Evero has been pretty good. Like, I know the Cowboys, had their way a little bit, but for the most part, they shut down. Javonte Williams, Brett is saying Gilbert will be taking Young up in 2 years when he's a Rams starting quarterback. Hey, he's gonna go to rehab, like Fernando said. Bryce Young can go to rehab, and then he'll become a superstar. He's just okay. Like, at this point, they invested so much in the guy. Let him be the game manager. Let him be your Derek Carr for 9 years. Like, but just find something. So that's all I wanted to say. I know we got to watch the football games here, but I'll say fact only because that running scheme is very good.
Yeah,
real quick.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I think my biggest takeaway is what you just said is how they've been running the ball. Like, to me, that's been the biggest thing. And even they lost 2 linemen for the year, so that's been the other thing. So it's more of a scheme there. But go ahead and take it away, Fernando.
Last thing for both of you guys, fair or foul? This is what Mike Tomlin had to say this morning.
Oh, I saw this
about the Cincinnati Bengals or about the Cleveland Browns.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
That's a red flag, Cincinnati. Why would they give you a quarterback? Yeah, come on. That's a divisional rival.
What did you think of that, Gilbert?
I think it's great. I sometimes when I see these Mike Tomlin sound bites, again, they're kind of not on my radar. They're a little boring to me. I think it's AI. Like, Mike Tomlin really said that. There was something else he said that I forgot about. I'm like, he really said that? But he doesn't give a crap right now. He has Aaron Rodgers playing well.
I was going to say that's 4-1 Tomlin talking.
Yeah.
If people were criticizing him right now, he would not be saying this. So good for him.
Wasn't Andrew Berry? Didn't Andrew Berry go on a radio station and say, "How can you wait until how are you waiting until June or July or June to get a quarterback? Like, why wouldn't you already have him in
a counter shot?"
I think I think Andrew Berry said something about them waiting for Aaron Rodgers and that he couldn't believe that they were going to wait for Aaron Rodgers.
But Mike Tomlin has a point. It's like your biggest rival, somebody who's actually not that far behind in the standings to you, is saying like, hey, we got this bag of crappy diapers, and I know about diapers right now. It's like they just kind of make them look nice and put some like freshener on it. You want this for a 3rd round pick? Here you go, rival. Like, and then we saw the Bengals. Like, what the hell did the Bengals do? Really? Like, I don't understand that. They're the most, like, for some reason, national people, and I know I'm part of the group, they are enamored with the Bengals staying afloat. Like, I read Joe Flacco looked good. How did Joe Flacco look good? Chase Brown hasn't cracked 50 rushing yards in the whole year. Like,
Rich Eisen still will not put a fork in the Bengals.
I don't get it. Joe Flacco didn't get the deep ball going until the game was over. Jamar Chase padded the stats, but like Josh Jacobs ran all over that defense. I just don't get it. But Mike Tomlin is saying like that must have been a better flag. Why do you want Joe Flacco? Here you go. Whatever.
We need to get into the Packers tomorrow, because that's another team where I'm just like, I don't like, people are like, they're still like putting them as Super Bowl contenders, and I'm like, am I taking crazy pills like Will Ferrell says in Zoolander? Like, what is going on here?
Jordan Love was not good, and they still won by 10 points.
Vic, can you get a piece of paper out real quick? 4-1 Steelers. Gilbert at the Bengals this Thursday.
I really hope the Steelers beat the crap out of them. Because please fork the Bengals already. So give me the Steelers here.
Go ahead.
Packers at Steelers on Sunday Night Football.
I still think the Packers are better, and that tells you a lot.
Colts at Steelers.
Colts, they have better offense.
Steelers at Chargers.
Chargers will be healthy. Chargers.
Bengals at Steelers.
Steelers.
Steelers at Bears.
At Bears? I'll go Bears.
Bills at Steelers.
Bills.
Steelers at Ravens.
Steelers.
Dolphins at Steelers.
Steelers.
Oh, I already know which way you're going with this one. Steelers at Lions.
Lions.
Steelers at Browns.
Steelers.
Ravens at Steelers to end the season.
I'll say this split. I think Lamar will play in one. Ravens.
You only have them with 4 losses.
9-8.
Oh, really? Oh,
wow.
damn.
9-8.
Well, that's what they do. Like Victor, you've been on this. They fade in the second half. We haven't got to the second half of the season, so
that's true.
I'm not buying it. I don't know why. They're an old team.
Man, it's gonna be interesting to see who wins that AFC North now, because I mean, it's gonna be 9 wins might win it.
Steelers to lose.
Steelers are gonna win that division with 9 wins. Like it's a crappy division right now.
Oh, what do you think? Real quick, what do you think of this? Sit Lamar and just burn the season? No, because you can go on.
Because what we just said, the AFC North is still up for grabs. That's what I'm saying. Like even the Browns kind of had a chance there before they fell to 1-5, and then you're still trading Joe Flacco to your rival. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up.
They're saying John said that he'll be back for the next game. Gilbert,
and Bears, middle linebacker.
Yeah, write this down, Vic. Just real quick. Bears at Ravens.
Bears.
Ravens at Dolphins.
Hold on. What are they? They're 1-5 right now, right?
1-5.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so he said Bears over the Ravens. Ravens at Dolphins.
This is where they start getting healthy, I bet. I think it might be the bye week already. Ravens.
Ravens at Vikings.
I go Vikings. I know I crap on them a lot, but I go Vikings here.
Ravens at Browns.
Ravens.
Jets at Ravens.
Ravens.
Bengals at Ravens.
Ravens.
You give the Ravens a loss. You had the Steelers beating them. So let's go Ravens at Bengals.
I'll say a split. I keep giving all the L's to the Bengals. Give me one for Bengals.
Patriots at Ravens.
Patriots.
Wow, Ravens at Packers.
Okay.
I say they'll be at full strength by here. So give me the Ravens. I don't trust the Packers.
Full strength by here. All you have is one game left. Ravens at Steelers.
Oh yeah, they're that hurt. Okay.
And you had the Ravens winning that one.
8-9. It's gonna be.
They're just too behind right now.
Yeah.
So basically, what Gilbert's saying is that game is gonna be the Sunday night game.
I'm telling you, I'm
Saturday night.
You know how I talk about the Bengals, people refusing to fork them? I'm having a hard time forking the Ravens. I still want to give them hope.
I know. So do I. All right. We appreciate everybody so much for jumping on Lunes Live. Thank you to Vic for jumping on with us. This was a very good Lunes Live. Like we said, we keep on getting better as the season goes along. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be jumping on the Four Compas show at 5:30. Gilbert and I will start it off. Then we'll have Vic jump on, and then Dan and Dago will jump on when he deems fit to jump on. So we appreciate everybody for jumping on with us. You guys are the Vic, do you know this, or Gilbert? What are the
odds? I don't know, but it's not. I mean,
with the 7th seed, maybe not too bad.
I mean, we'll see how it all depends on the Steelers. Honestly, I'm kind of with you guys in terms of I think it's going to come down to what happens there.
When you're in the AFC South, you have a chance. That's why I hate the Bengals still being in the mix. But yeah.
All right. Appreciate you guys so much. You guys are the best. Let's get out of here, Gilbert. Why don't you get us out of here?
And I meant AFC North because AFC South sucked
Josh
for so many
Palmer
years.
with his first and only play of the game. My bad. Go
okay.
ahead.
Well, yeah, time to get going. Yeah, I meant AFC South. Sorry, AFC North. It's hard to keep. They seem like the same. Now, on that note, enjoy the doubleheader tonight. We'll see you tomorrow whenever Dan decides to join us. But on that note, nos vamos, pues, vámonos.